Okay, Shin Lim, huge congratulations. You just won the very first season ever of America's Got Talent, The Champions, which brought back 50 acts from all over the world. Tell us, what did that moment mean to you?
I mean, it meant everything. You know, it's truly like one of the most unforgettable experiences I'll ever have in my life. I'm so grateful for everyone like supporting me, all the fans, like everyone believing in me, and it's just I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming, but because it happened like right after AGT, so I mean AGT itself felt like a dream. So having done Champions and everything, it's just kind of been a whirlwind. But I'm just really happy.
Yeah, because after you won season 13, this was just a few months later that you win the Champions.
Yeah.
So are you kind of excited now to take some time to yourself and reflect on this amazing year that you've had?
Yeah, super excited to kind of have some downtime a little bit. Try to just have some time to myself, my fiance, and just kind of chill out, get some sleep. Haven't gotten a full night's sleep in a while. So.
Well, after Terry Crews makes the big announcement that you're the winner, he gives you this huge trophy. It's like the size of Darci Lynne. It's so big.
It's enormous. It's half of me. It really
How
is.
did you get home? Did it make it on the plane?
No, I had to give it to my manager. So he lives in Pasadena, so he just kind of kept it for me.
Yeah. Does he still have it, or did he?
No, now I got it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Is it in your home somewhere, like so everyone can see it when they come in?
Yeah, it's in the back room. It's not in the main room. It's next to the trophy cabinet. It's not in the trophy cabinet because it doesn't fit. It's too big, so I just put it.
So when you're standing there in the final two next to Darci Lynne, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking, I think I could win? Or are you thinking, oh, she's beat me, there's no way I'm going to beat Darci?
It was the exact same feeling during AGT when it was me and Zucchero. Same exact thing, because once it was just me and them, I was like, okay, wait, it's either win or lose. Like, this is it. Like, it's a flip of a coin right now. And that's why I started pacing back and forth. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but I was really stressed out. But yeah, because it got really intense at that point.
I was in the audience for when you won season 13, and you just looked so shocked. And didn't they all pick you up and were like carrying you in their arms after that?
Yeah. It was crazy. It was so like heavenly. I felt like I was in heaven almost because I was being lifted up, and I was like, "Am I dreaming right now?" Like everything was super silent. Like everything was muted. I couldn't even hear the flares going off behind me. It was crazy. And then the same thing for Champions. It was same feeling.
Did you ever worry that since you're a close-up card magician, that maybe the act was at a disadvantage because the audience was so big and the audience was, the audience at home? Were you ever worried that they wouldn't be able to see the intricacies of what you were doing?
Yeah, of course. And so I had to change my act up a little bit here and there to kind of make it better for the judges, especially for Simon. I was trying to please him the whole time, trying to add more showmanship and trying to. Because it's hard to sometimes portray magic through a screen. Sometimes it kind of feels just a little bit flat, and so you got to kind of add like either music elements or fire elements or something like that, just to kind of keep it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're only the second magician to win after Matt Franco, and most of the winners have been singers. So it was really cool to see that when you're pitted against all these different acts, that a magician can still pull out a huge.
Yeah. It's hard. I think it's because it's not because people prefer singers over magicians or whatever. I think it's just for magicians it's hard because when magicians create like an original, right? Like when a musician creates an original, it's a lot of work because we have to build props, we have to memorize a script, or whether it be music, and then the actual sleight of hand is also pretty hard to learn. So it's like all these different things we're trying to kind of manage all at the same time. And also we have to create the actual trick itself. So it can be very difficult, especially if it's six performances in the regular AGT. Like that's quite a lot to have to kind of create on your own.
Did anything ever go wrong on stage? Because I didn't notice anything, but maybe you did and you just played it off like, oh, that was supposed to happen that way.
I think every round something went wrong.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The one that was the most obvious was the quarterfinals. That was the most obvious mistake. But everything else was like small mistakes here and there. I just tried my best to like breeze through it.
What is an act's relationship with the judges? Do you get to talk with them backstage, or is it kind of you're all kept separate from them?
I think, well, for me, I never wanted to bother them backstage because I feel like they're really busy. So the only time that I talked to them was on stage.
Okay. We've heard that Heidi Klum and Mel B will not be returning for season 14. Can you give us your opinion on them as judges and why you will miss them on the show?
Well, I mean, they're amazing. They're so nice. Like, I feel like even though sometimes they can be like harsh, like, I don't know, they have such a nice way of putting it. They're not as like stern as Simon, obviously. So like, just, seeing them go will be sad, but it's always nice to kind of have like a refresh almost, to kind of reinvent yourself. So I think it'll be interesting to see what the new judges like will bring.
Mm-hmm. And Simon has this reputation for being the grumpiest, meanest guy, but over the years he's kind of gotten a little bit, nicer. Maybe age is doing something, the opposite for him. Did he ever say, refresh my memory, did he ever critique you and make you just go home and just, you're just so angry that?
Well, I wasn't angry. I was more like stressed, I guess, because I wanted to make Simon happy. I feel like he's not really mean per se. I think he's just kind of frank. So he just says whatever he's thinking, which is kind of cool. And so he told me that he wanted to see something bigger after the quarterfinals act. I guess because it was very small. It was a very compact act. And so he wanted to see me kind of express myself a little bit more. And so that kind of got me thinking. I was like, oh, I gotta create something like amazing for the finale. So that was when I created the floating cards and stuff.
And for Champions, tell us about the first performance episode.
Yeah.
How did you get, how did this idea come to you? Is this something you've done in your shows before and you just kind of tweaked it for TV?
So, well, I actually performed that whole act during the auditions for Champions. I usually perform that whole thing as one. And if you look at the regular AGT, it's actually the judge cuts and quarterfinals that's put together, and that's the act. Yeah, it's actually the same act. I tweaked it a little bit here and there. I ended up putting the cards into Terry's pocket and stuff like that just to change it up. But it's essentially the same act.
I have no idea how you do some of these things. And I know you're not going to tell me, but when I'm watching it, my mouth is just open in shock. I imagine all of America is. And like, you don't even go down to the table. You're not even near Howie's cup, but the cards are in his cup somehow. Like, I don't understand, Shin Lim. What's going on here?
It's in the hair, man. It's just.
What can you tell fans about your Vegas show? And are you traveling around the country as well?
Yeah, I'll be doing both. I am starting a show at the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. That starts in May 27th. They'll be going throughout the whole year, but the dates are scattered. And so in between that, I'll also be doing a North American tour. So I'll be going across America and Canada doing some shows.
And when you run into fans on the street, like what questions do they most want to ask you about?
Can I have a picture?
Okay.
But I guess then they would also ask like, how's life after AGT? I think that's probably the most common question.
So do they never ask you, how did you do this specific trick? Or do they know, like, it's the magician's rule that you're not going to tell them?
Surprisingly, no, I don't get that question. If at all. And most of the times the people that do ask me that question are like magicians or hobbyists, and they're like, oh, how did you do this specific thing? Because they know the magician lingo, right? So they know what to ask.
Speaking of magicians, John Dornbos came back for the finale as a wild card. When he was announced as returning, did you worry like, oh my gosh, now there's two magicians, the super fans may split the vote, which one of us are they going to vote for?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I think that went across my mind. But I think I was also equally worried about everyone. Like, everyone's just so amazing. Like, everyone's like an all-star in my opinion. So I was just kind of like, to be honest, like I feel like everyone beat each other by like a million vote. Like I feel like I feel like everything was just so close, you know, like it wasn't like, it's not like one person won by a lot. I really feel like anyone could have been first place.
Yeah. Who would you have voted for if you were not in the competition? Of the, let's say that of the other 11 finalists, which one were you just so impressed by?
Darci Lynne.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was unbelievable. I thought she was gonna win, especially after her finale performance with the opera. Like that, to me, that was like mind blowing. Really, really.
Maybe you and Darci could have like a variety show where you go around the country together.
I was thinking of doing that. That would be so cool.
Because what she's doing is kind of a version of magic in a way. I mean, it's not something that most people can do. Yeah. No one can do what she does.
No, it's like sleight of mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should contact her and see if we can do a show together.
That would be like a ratings blockbuster.
Yeah.
Well, Shin, it was so great to talk to you. Give us your final thoughts on this whole year that you've had, because it was quite the memorable year.
Yeah, and it's been an unbelievable year. It's life-changing, and I'm so grateful for everyone and for everyone in AGT for helping me and for supporting me, and just my parents, obviously, and all my friends.
Nice.
It really means so. Thank you.
If they asked you to come back for season 14 as like a special guest appearance, like in the live shows, you'd probably say yes to that.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Nice. Simon, I hope you're listening. We want to see Shin back on the show.
I'll be.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Have a great day.